Hi everybody. Sorry if my audio is a little off today. I'm going to just be using my built-in microphone and hope for the best. I decided to remove my TN cover, as you can probably tell. The little avocado got moved too. This comes off really easy. It's not like damaging or anything, so I'm moving it around a bit. I got this at Michael's if you're curious, just a little avocado patch. I think it's adorable. But so I decided to remove my TN cover, mostly because I just felt it was a little too bulky, and after my vacation I wasn't using the other inserts as much, so I decided to just go back to using my plain one. Also, I was a little sad because the band was starting to kind of wreck my binding of my Nuna, and it was making me real sad because I actually really like this Nuna, so I didn't want it getting wrecked any more than that. And like it was starting to like go into like the side over here and like pull the cover off, so that was one reason I decided to remove it. I know I could like have put the binding like through the middle, but it made it really bulky and hard to write in, so I just really didn't like that. I like to have it go through binding if I can, and I just didn't like what was happening to my notebook, and there was just a lot of reasons. Anyways, you can see I'm surrounded by lots of like goodies today, and that is because I'm going to be doing something a little different. So I already set up a good chunk of my July spreads, which is what I'm going to be doing today. But for July, I decided to go with alpacas. My best friend got me this sticker book. This used to be here actually, and technically they're llamas. They're llamas, but in my mind they're alpacas. I'm gonna just stick with that. And it gave me the idea that for this month I was gonna do alpacas because they're my favorite animal. I mean, I have them scattered about in here all over. I even have this cute little guy up there. So I was really excited. I used some of the vellum. I'm not sure if it was vellum or acetate. I can't tell the difference between the two. Whichever one is not plasticky from my Planner Society kit. I can't remember which month, but I used some of that behind it, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It's much brighter than I normally go for. I'm actually gonna, like, I did start out a little bit. The only thing I'm having an issue with is this one sticker doesn't like sticking, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I went back to my cactus stamps. As you can see, I have my monthly set up for like any important days I gotta remember. I have my no spend tracker. I have my expense log down here. I know what all these are for, so I don't need to label them personally. Not many people are just flipping through my journal going, oh my gosh, what's this? What's that? I mean, my mom kind of looks through it sometimes when I visit. But other than you guys, I mean, I don't really go around saying, hey, look at my planner, you know? I'm not really about that, so I don't really feel the need to label everything. But I went for a pink, which I actually do have the tape out, because what I want to do is set up the first week with you guys and show you guys how I set up my weekly spreads. So next is my habits and my mood tracker. I did go back to the Cocoa Daisy stamps for this month. I did this in May, I believe it was, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. I loved it, so I thought I would do it again. I did remove some of the stamps this time and just stuck with a certain 4, which I think is a lot better. And then I did update my habits again just a little bit. I changed fitness to working out because I really want to try and actually work out a bit more this month. I'm going to be modeling again, so I want to just make sure that I'm feeling confident and, you know, content with myself. I added get dressed back in here because I know that being home, I'm going to fall back into bad habits again, and I want to not do that. And then I combined reading or drawing because I actually got a new iPad when I was on vacation, and I've been doing a lot of stuff with my Apple Pencil I just got, and I've been getting back into reading a bit with the Kindle before I go to bed. So I thought that would be a good way to include that in my spreads this time. And then as you can see, my color for the month is it's not gold. The gold pen is getting put away. I'm a little sad about not using the marigold, but I'm going to be using this really pretty pink Tombow. And I did actually switch up my pencil pouches too. I do that. So this is the color I'm going to be using this month. I'm not exactly sure which number shade it is because they don't tell you on here. So it's pretty. That's what I'm going to go with. And I thought this would be a good change up. It would match the, you know, the pinks that I'm going for. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty close coloring. So jumping to the next page, there's nothing. It's blank. I thought about putting something here. I didn't know what to put here, so I thought what I could do is just jump right into my weekly spreads and go from there. Although, see, I've been debating doing a social media tracker here, so maybe we'll skip that. Worst case, I have a blank page. I just fill in with some stuff, I guess. So, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to take my binder clips that I have. That used to be a beautiful rose gold, but they are not really anymore from handling. So I like to just kind of clip it open. I do kind of bend my binding a bit, make it as flat as I can. Since I'm working on my floor and I'm not like kissing my paper, this is going to be a little bit harder. Take my paper clip out so it doesn't leave any bumpage. So one of the first things I normally do when I start a spread is I try and figure out what kind of image I'm going to have. Now, I use a sprocket, which I'm actually going to grab right here. And this is what I use to print out all my images. I'm not sure if I have any paper in here. Let's find out. I was using it on vacation, so... Okay, so I do have some in there. That's good. So I keep it in this case, which is super nifty. Like, it has a hole in it, so like it can easily just come out. The next thing I try and do is always have pictures prepared. I don't have any pictures prepared, so you're gonna have to forgive me on that. Sorry about that, everybody. I still need to get a real camera someday. Moving on. So this will give you an idea of what the image actually looks like versus what it looks like on my screen. Now, I'll try and not be all weird as I move this forward. So you can see it does have a little bit more of like a washed out look to it. I personally like how these look. It reminds me kind of like it was drawn or painted over rather than like an actual copy of the picture. But that's just my preference. It's always up to you, whatever you prefer. So now I'm just going to, is this already off or, no, I just turned it back on. So I'm going to turn this back off. And I'm going to close my apps here. Okay, that's cool, but I'm closing that. Turn off my Bluetooth. And I'm going to just set that off to the side and get back to what we were doing. So one of the first things I do is I will normally clip the corners of my pictures. I use this. It's a Kodamaru Pro. I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that properly. This was actually recommended to me from Christy, the creator and owner of the Planner Society. I was having trouble finding a side punch that I thought would be real good, and she recommended this, and it has 3 different ones, which is like perfect. I normally always use the large, and it punches pretty well. And I really like to do that off-centered type of look, so I'm gonna just do this. And this is a sticker, so this will come off. I don't need any glue or anything. But before I stick that down, I want to make sure I don't want, you know, I like to use washi tape and stuff. I'm also using a Planner Society tape. A lot of what I use is from the Planner Society. I just really like her products. I'm not a member of anything but the washi sub kit now, so I'm a little sad about that, but the washi is really cute. This was from June. I really like the color, so I've been using it. I think I want to put it on the top. I'm just not sure if I want to use another one with it. I still really like yellow. So, I mean, maybe put down the yellow and then put down the pink. No, I'm just gonna go with pink. So, I'm gonna get out that ruler. That's a good trick too if you're wanting to get these straight without like being too rough with it. You can use a ruler. I can't do it right here because this is too small, but then you can just pull it up and it helps a lot. Now I really like to put mine up in the top corner. I could put this wherever I want. I've put them down here before. I've put them over here. I normally like to put them over here. I think this time though I'll put it in this corner. We'll change it up just a little bit. So that's pretty much the basics that I go for. I try to keep it, for the most part, kind of simple. Sometimes I'll throw some stickers on here. I don't actually think I have any stickers really that are that color that I want to use for my planner kits, but I'm going to do a quick flip through of this little sticker packet my friend got me and see if there's any of these I think I would like to use. Voila! I think that adds a little bit more to it, just not too much, but not too little. So my favorite part, and by that I mean not really my favorite part, is putting in my days of the week. Now I've gotten pretty lazy with this. I just use a stamp set that I got from a Planner Society kit. I actually got this second hand because I subscribed after this month, so I'm really glad I found it. I get a lot of my stamps secondhand. I also got my Cocoa Daisy ones secondhand, which I love. And you can probably tell I don't take as good a care of my stamps as I should. So before you jump down my throat saying, you need to wash your stamps, I know. I know. Don't worry, I got you. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is I normally use gray for behind it, and I'm going to basically just put in some gray lines here. So the week starts technically on a Sunday. I don't know if I want to try and shove 2 Sundays on here, so I'll start on this side first. So 1, and I try to make them a little bit wider just because I know that I'm going to need to put the dates in there, and sometimes the stamps are a little bit longer than I remember. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See, like that one's way too short. I'll be able to fit like Monday on here, and then my date's gonna be like slightly off, which sucks, but that's kind of a given for me. So we're gonna go right there. And sometimes I like to do these a little bit, not like perfectly even. I'll put them a little bit off sometimes just to give it a little bit more variety. So once that's done, I don't need that anymore. And I will be replacing my gold with a yellow Tri-Plus fine liner. This is just to color in my suns for the weather. So just because I want to slim down what's in my pouch, I try to keep this as minimal as possible. So I don't technically need that yet. Set these all off to the sides. I don't need my ruler anymore. So now comes the fun part. Alright, let's get this bad boy open. And these do not like to stick to my block. I don't know why. So I tend to try and go a little bit quicker and a little bit more carefully. For ink, I use this black archival ink. I got this on Amazon. I don't know much about different inks. This is actually the only ink pad I have, so. Now for my water tracker, I use this teeny tiny little stamp I got from one of my TPS kits. It came with other ones, but I like the coffee cup the most. I think it's absolutely adorable. It doesn't really mean that I drink coffee every day. I use it to like just be like, hey, I drank water today. So normally I would stick them in the little like area by themselves. A few times, this time I did it by the days. Before that I did it in where I normally do, and then this week I actually had them going across the bottom with some extra stamps. So I'm thinking I'm gonna mimic what I did where it went across the bottom. So I need 7 of these little guys. And now these are definitely never perfect. I kind of just go for it. And the biggest reason I have been using stamps a lot is because my Nuna can handle the ink. My Leuchtturm didn't really handle the ink that well. It bled pretty badly. And speaking of, I am working on my supplies video. My first attempt didn't really turn out how I wanted it to. So I didn't end up liking it, and I do need to redo it just because it became a little bit more. It was way too long for what I was trying to do. I don't use that many supplies, so I figured going through every supply I own is probably not the best idea, and instead I'm gonna redo it with just the supplies I use. So rather than, hey, I have all of these, different markers and pens that I don't use, I'm just going to do the ones I use because I have a lot of supplies that frankly I don't like to use, and I just felt like the video was getting to be a little bit too lengthy for my tastes. Alright, so the next thing I do, make sure this is all dry first, is I will do my last little details, which are pretty simple. I'm going to bust that out, and then my Sharpie. So I don't use my Sharpie for daily writing. My daily writer is actually a Hobonichi. So all I really use a Sharpie for is I use it for my lines. So I use the Sharpie for like these lines here. And then I also use it for drawing in the weather every day because it prevents whatever I color over it from bleeding. And then I also use it to write in the dates, which is what I'm gonna do now. So Monday is the 2nd. So I'm just gonna go through and put the days here. And that's why I like to make sure that my gray is a little bit bigger. That way it actually goes across. And then last but not least, I'm gonna take my Signo white gel pen. I love this bad boy. Make sure that it's not clogged at all in the end. And I'm going to actually kind of try to get rid of some of these black lines. That is pretty much it. I am done. Now, before I write anything in, I'm going to take a really pretty snapshot of this for my Instagram and for maybe Amino. I haven't really been uploading too many. I might do a full view in there. I still haven't finished this. I want to put something here, but I don't know what. Make sure that these are dry before I start closing my book on them. And yeah, that is how I set up my week. That's it. That is all I do. And then once I take my pretty pictures, I'll go in and write down the days I need to work, any important dates I need to remember. Excuse me, any important dates or appointments I need to remember. I'll put in too. The reason I do a full week is because it gives me a chance to see what I need to do that week. I'm not trying to struggle every day going, okay, what did I need to remember? Okay, let me write that down. Oh, it's the next day, I gotta do that again. Like, I never was a fan of that. I like the ability to see every day of the week. I did do a weekend here, and I did not like it. It really bothered me that I didn't have enough room here. I didn't set this up how I normally would. This was way bigger than normal. Like, I definitely kind of screwed myself with this spread. I could have put a day up here. Like, just overall, I had less space, and I did not like how I did that. I've kind of learned how to do stuff so I know how much space I'm gonna need for a week. I don't know how much space I'm gonna need this week, so I just kind of went for my normal, you know, type of spread I get where I have space, and try to go from there. A lot of the days are kind of similar for me, so I don't do a lot. It's mostly just like I worked, I bullet journaled, I played video games, but I still like to keep track of everything I do, so that's why I do it. I still need to figure out what I want to put right here. I'm thinking maybe I'll put this guy up here. That could be cute. And then I'll watercolor it in with some gold watercolor. Maybe. Okay, I do have a good I was like, I don't think he's gonna fit on my stamp block. But he do. He do. There you go. And I do have different stamp block sizes. This is just the one I use because it fits like everything I need it to fit. And then I'm going to just sorry about the kiddos. There's a lot of kids that have moved into my building recently and they like to hang out outside, which, you know, good for them. That's awesome. So I'm gonna go put it a little bit on the craft paper. I'm gonna press kind of hard. I want to make sure that I get everywhere. I don't want to press too hard now that I think about it. It's on my iPad. Oh, perfect. I struggle getting all of that pattern sometimes with the stamps, so I'm really glad that came out. First try. Alright, so I think, yeah, that's gonna be real cute. And then maybe I'll stick a little bit, just a couple little cactuses in here. Or, you know what? Let's put this on there. Just work my way through. I didn't originally plan to finish setting up this page, but I figured, hey, why not? You guys can see how I plan in real life. Jumbled and all over the place. But that's how I do. Oh, I got some ink on my finger. Alright. That's cute. Okay. And then, yeah, I think that's good actually. I'm not going to put any little cactuses in there like I thought I was. I was tempted to put one maybe down here, but I don't want to because I have them on that side. So I think that's actually really cute. And you can see how like the ghosting of my ink is. You can just vaguely see those. There's a little bit of dirt right there from my finger. And I'll try to do my best to make sure this video is not insanely long. I know that it's going to be on the longer side. I don't normally do plan with me videos for this reason, just because I spend a long time on my process. So yeah, that looks adorable. I might go in with some gold watercolor I have, like I did right here. That way, bring it up closer. Like, I might do that, but on there, so we'll see. I'm not going to do that right now, obviously, just because I don't have any of that stuff out. So yeah, so my July is now officially set up for the most part. There's that one spread I'm still thinking about. When I have that figured out, it will definitely be on my Instagram. And yeah, you can see what I mean, like this just kind of fills up a bit. So that's the only struggle I'm having this month, is this. But yeah, I really like how it came out. It's going to be a lot brighter than normal, a lot more pink. But I think it's going to be cute. And then each day I'll color in, you know, a cup to make sure that I drink water that day. It doesn't have to be like a full so many ounces. It's just, did I drink water, yes or no? That's my main goal, is just drinking water every day, no matter how much it is, because I struggle with that. But I really like how it turned out. I think it's super, super cute. It's, you know, there's a lot of pinks going on, a lot more summery than my normal spreads. So I'm going to end this here. I know this was much longer than normal. I'm going to try and obviously slim it down, speed pieces up, do what I got to do to make it not 40 plus minutes. As always, if you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up to it, like it, you know. Leave me a comment with any feedback. I tried to, you know, do a lot more talking in this one. I know that the music was a bit of a issue for some people, so I am changing that. I will be working on a new intro here soon. I know that I don't have one yet, so my beginning of my videos are kind of bleh. But as far as like anything else goes, I mean, I hope you liked my video. I hope you like my planner. I love my planner, so I mean, if you don't like it, that's on you, because I'm happy. But if you have any questions or anything, don't be afraid to ask. I do my best to make sure that I respond to any questions anyone might have. You can also follow me on Instagram. I will have my link down below, and my Pinterest did pop up in my thing for a little bit. Like I said, I use my Pinterest for getting my images that I use, like these. So almost all of these are coming from Pinterest, and if you want to, I will leave the link to my Pinterest down below so you can get a link to my boards. I have one that is for just bullet journaling. I have one for aesthetic, which is the two I use mostly for these, but I have boards for a lot of things like clothes and food and what have you. So if you're definitely curious about where my pictures come from, they're going to be in my aesthetic pin board, which again I'll link below. I will be sharing my July setup on Amino as well, so if you're curious about that, be sure to, you know, check it out. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I am trying to upload more often, so much so that I'm thinking that these pages are going to be my social media tracker in a different sense that I did before. So I'll have like a space for my Instagram, and then I'm thinking I'll have like just a little chunk. I don't need a lot, but for my YouTube, so I can write down ideas I have for the month and if I uploaded them or not. So I think it'll be a great way for me to be a little bit more active on my channel. I'm still learning, I'm still a newbie, so I hope that it keeps going and growing and getting better. But I'm going to keep talking forever, so thank you guys so much. Happy planning, and I will see you guys later. Bye!